Applying for a job is not easy. Archaic practices such as writing a cover letter or new ones asking you to submit video recordings of yourself plague the job market. Then there are long debated issues such as not disclosing the wage, long working hours, low vacation time, jobs demanding senior level experience for entry level position, or others attempting to hide multiple jobs in one. The list just does not end. Hi, Naman here, and today I am digressing about the job market. Back in your grandparents' time, one could walk into a company, resume in hand, asked to meet directly with the manager for a position. Most of the time, people were hired after a short interview and a firm handshake. The wages were also pretty good. You could afford a house and start a family, something that is a pipe dream for most of us. So what changed between then and now that led to a system that is designed to prey on the naive and desperate, a system that treats employees as line items on a balance sheet, and a system that is searching for unicorns on a budget of a Big Mac? There is no easy answer to this question, and in fact, one can argue that there are countless factors that have led to this soul-sucking system. What I am going to do, however, is briefly talk about 4 factors that, in my opinion, are what's wrong with the job market. Let's start with the first one: CEO and management pay. The average pay for a CEO has gone up 1200% since 1978. 1200%. This means that a CEO is paid 344 times more than you. They are also the key decision makers for the company. So when a business starts to lose money, management must take action to ensure that financial obligations are met. Now, this would mean cutting salaries for employees or layoffs to minimize expenses. But would it not make sense to replace management with someone else? Someone more competent? After all, it's not the workers' fault for the loss in revenue or customers. They did not make the decisions that led to this loss. All they did was execute the plan as presented by senior management. So why are they on the receiving end? Why not cut the salaries and lay off people at the top rather than the bottom? The next time your CEO buys a yacht or management is at a Sting concert, ask yourself these questions. They prioritize themselves over everybody else. Let's talk about the second one: value for shareholders. Simply put, when someone invests in a company, they do it with a singular goal: ROI, return on investment. So let's say if an investor buys $10 worth of shares in a company, with each share trading at $1, they expect that the shares will see a jump in value at some point in the future. So for example, it could go from $1 to $2, which means basically that their investment has doubled. What's happening here is that the companies take the money from these investors and use it to fund and grow the business. If they fail, then the share value starts to drop because companies publish financial reports every quarter. Now, this is a signal to shareholders that the company is not doing well, and they may cut their losses and decide to sell their shares. Now, this can trigger an even further drop in share price. So to meet the demands for shareholder ROI, because the investors have invested a lot of money, the company must constantly do 2 things: increase revenue and grow the business. So what happens when a company fails to do these 2 things? They must cut expenses and shut down departments to ensure that all financial obligations are met and that there is cash on hand to meet future volatility. They need this investor money to keep the business going, and what would seem like a 5 to 10% drop in share value could indicate a $20+ billion drop in market capitalization. Now, laying off workers and shutting down departments is the fastest way to minimize expenses and ensure that all future financial obligations are met, because now it is about the survival of the business. This begs a couple of questions though. Is it necessary for a business to grow every quarter, every year? Can it not maintain itself at a steady level and take periodic leaps? Shouldn't the priority of the business be the people that are working to build the business, rather than a few deep pocket investors? Is ROI really that important? If you're still wondering about this, the priority here are the people with deep pockets and not the workers. That's how the system has been designed. You are essentially replaceable. Let's talk about the third one: lobbying. The job market is heavily regulated, but it isn't regulated in the interests of the employee. It is in fact regulated in the interests of the employers. Now, this shouldn't come as a surprise, but if it is a surprise, surprise! This is because companies lobby politicians and convince them to vote for regulations and laws that are in their favor, like keeping the minimum wage at a certain level, not regulating maternity leave, or even the need for vacation time. In fact, this may come as yet another surprise. Lobbying has a counterpart: unions. Yet one is treated far more harshly than the other. Why is that? This is because you as an individual do not have a direct relationship with your political representatives or the country's leaders. You do not get invited to dinners to sit down with your politicians and leaders to discuss what's happening in the job market. But I can guarantee you that the CEOs of companies, the ones that are paid 1200% more than you, are in the DMs of every politician and leader they can get a hold of. They also have a lot more to offer to these politicians. This helps them maintain a status quo and push things in their favor. It ensures that they stay in business regardless of what they do. It's why they can get away with crimes. It's why they can get away with polluting the environment. It's why they can commit wage theft and just get a slap on the wrist. Because they have the most powerful people on the planet in their pockets. Now, if you're wondering again, the priority here is not the workers and the working class. The priority here are people with the deepest pockets. Let's move on to the fourth factor, the surprise factor as I like to call it. You. There is a very powerful saying that I believe in. Change happens through conversations. Change happens through conversations. If you want to change a broken system, the first step is to start talking about the broken system. Back in Granddaddy's day, you'd go to a pub, have a pint, and organize a rebellion. Now you can do that without going to the pub through the power of social media. Yet a lot of us restrain ourselves from speaking out. Why is that? Is it because our employers are also on social media and can fire us at a moment's notice? Or is it because we're afraid that if we speak ill of companies, we will become unhireable? I mean, people have been censored and banned for discussing companies in a negative light. Recruiters and hiring managers stalk the social media of applicants to see what kind of person they are. Maybe you're the kind of person who is tired of low wages. Maybe you're the kind of person that is demanding a 4-day work week. Maybe you're the kind of person who thinks that 3 weeks of vacation time is just not fucking enough. Either way, you represent a threat to the establishment. And do you know what that means? It means that you need to be regulated. But the question here is that should that stop you from speaking out? Your inaction and silence facilitate the existence of a tyrannical system. There has never been an instance in history where a tyrannical system, where a predatory system has just decided to kill itself. Never in history has that happened. It has always required the bravery and sacrifice of the working class and less fortunate demanding and screaming for change. Now, if you want to change a system that has taken advantage of you, paralyzed you, and made you submissive to its whims, then you must find the courage in you to fight back and scream for change. Remember, there is no such thing as a passive participant in a fight for change. You are either part of the movement or you are a roadblock. Find a way to contribute to change in the best way you can. It's the only way a broken system can ever be fixed. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share this video. Take care.